Hey everybody, Scapegoat here, and today we're going over the Forbidden and Limited list for June 2020 of this year, and there won't be one. Thank you for watching.
And best deck, now, always and forever.
Oh, forgot my deck. You okay? Hey everybody, Scapegoat here, and seriously now, let's talk about a ban list. I know there's one of two options in which option one is Konami can just not give us a ban list, but let's just humor the other side of the argument. Let's go over a theoretical ban list that may or may not happen. So for the first card that we have, we could talk about is the Unlimited section. It is Sky Striker Mecha Widow Anchor. It was recently put to 1 and then to 2, and I believe it should go to 3. The deck is incredibly crippled right now with the ban of Engage, and it can't really do much. You see a few rogue tops here and there from when we could play, and then, you know, online tournaments, and thus so far you can't really do anything with the deck. So I figure giving another Widow Anchor to the deck couldn't hurt. If anything, it's just to humor the Sky Striker players. The next card on the ban list that I wanted to speak about was the Draco Face Off card. I believe that should go in Unlimited. For those who don't remember, it's a quick play spell card, and you pretty much chose 2 Draco Slayers or Draco Masters or whatever. One of them would be Special Summon, the other would go to your extra deck. I think we're in such a meta right now, and pretty much for the foreseeable future, where decks are just so accelerated and so far beyond these old cards. I think Draco Face Off isn't one of those cards we should be scared about anymore. It's at 1 currently, and I mean, Pendulum is a pretty good deck, but I don't really see it doing too much of anything with 3 Draco Face Offs. It makes you so you have to play the Draco engine, which isn't that bad, but the superior Magician Endymion engine is probably the way to go. One of the last cards I want to talk about for the Unlimited section is Tour Guide of the Underworld. Similar to Mecha Widow Anchor, it was in the semi-limited section, so there's only 3 in that section currently. It was Malicious, Tour Guide, and also Widow Anchor. And if we put Tour Guide and Widow Anchor to 3, that only leaves the only one that pretty much deserves to be at 2 in the game, Destiny Hero Malicious. So that's one valid reason. The other is you're not really seeing too much of Burning Abyss, so it's good to give those decks, you know, that type of engine. Tour Guide's really good for that deck. It's really good for other decks. It's a good rank 3 spam. But I just feel like we're so beyond Tour Guide currently, just like my reasoning behind Draco Face Off. It's a normal summon to get you the 1 card out of your deck, make Cherry Beanie Turbo essentially, but it's not going to do too much currently since it's at 2. You're just giving it 1 additional card, and I don't think it's going to change all that much. For the semi-limited section, we're not going to do anything with that at all. I believe the only card that really deserves to be in that position in the game currently is Destiny Hero Malicious, and we're very close to making that a reality. I think with this list we can properly do that. But that's pretty much it for that. Moving on to the limited section, I want to add Harpy's Feather Duster to the limited section, moving it from banned to limited. It is just a card that, you know, it wipes your opponent for your spell and traps, and it's a budget-friendly version of Lightning Storm. So I think that would be very good, especially in consideration of Konami was originally going into a national format where everybody was going to need to go to an event where they needed cards like this. I think Lightning Storm, rather Harpy's Feather Duster, would have been a great choice to put in the limited section. And you currently see it in the OCG as well. It's just one of those picks that's kind of strange. It seems it's more of a business standpoint, where they don't want to move Harpy's Feather Duster off of the list because of Lightning Storm. So if not for this list, maybe next list, but who knows. The next card on the list is Mystic Mine. I know there's a lot of kind of debate on Mystic Mine, whether it should be banned or shouldn't be banned. I consider it kind of like Kaiser Coliseum, but 10 times better. Kaiser Coliseum was banned, I think, mostly because of a slight interaction with the card that pretty much makes you go into a lock. However, Mystic Mine is a card where you can just play and wait for the win or wait for your opponent to deck out. I've won many games just activating Mystic Mine and knowing my opponent can't come back, just winning solely on Mystic Mine. I don't think it's that fair of a card. It's a card that can pretty much just shut your opponent off for more than a turn. It's a floodgate. It's just, I think, one of the most poorly designed cards in the game currently. And I have no idea how it is not currently at 1 and or banned, but I would put it at 1 just simply because. The next card I want to go over for limited is Alistar the Invoker. This is more so just a preference. I know some of the people put the field spell to 1. I personally like having Alistar at 1. I think it kind of gives you some limitation in your strategy, whether you want to hold Alistar in your hand for the 1k boost or what you plan on using and kind of resource management. I just think having the 1 summon is better than the field spell and all of the multiple times you can search Alistar. I think this makes it, I think you can summon, search, or use Alistar 7 times or so, as opposed to, more than that. That's just preference, either or. I would not mind the field spell going to 1, as long as something gets hit to kind of knock out the current Eldritch engine that can use this, as well as the future Drachma engine. Now we move on to the ban section. So there's only a few more hits left. I'm thinking we look at some of the more like cancerous floodgate strategies. Mist Valley Thunderbird, as well as Dragon Buster Destruction Sword. I think I said that correctly. They're kind of grouped in the same category. I want to put them both on the list just so we're not abusing Union Carrier too hard. I really don't like the design behind Dragon Buster, whatever, where you kind of have to have a main deck out to get over it, as well as some sort of destruction or mandatory spell and trap destruction. And if you pair that with onboard negates, it's kind of hard. Speaking of onboard negates, we have the Mist Valley Thunderbird, which provides an infinite negate strategy when you use it with Apex Avian. And they're just, cards I don't really admire in the game and kind of wish that was, out the window. And that's pretty much all I have to say for that. The next card on the list I know is a very hot pressing topic, whether Konami will hit cards for these archetypes. Block Dragon is a very dangerous card to keep around. It's been used in a lot of strategies that involve FTKs or just straight up spam. Currently it is used in a spam deck, and it provides a lot of resources for a deck that should be nowhere near as that powerful as it should be. So I believe hitting Block Dragon to 0 will not only stop this deck from doing super amazing without kind of hindering players from purchasing these cards. I obviously know that Konami wants to sell this product, but it's not uncommon for them to hit side cards, cards that aren't part of their archetype in order to kind of just tap them on the wrist. So that's kind of my reasoning behind Block Dragon. I know, again, a lot of people don't like hitting Block Dragon because it kind of, hits them a little too hard, but I think it's a necessary evil in order to get rid of, one of the cancerous decks, at least kind of limit the power on it to give other decks a chance. The final and most meta-defining card I feel is on this list is probably one that has a lot of harsh disagreement towards, but the fact that it pretty much defines the meta and pretty much brings degenerate spam along with it. So, for that reason, I'm putting Kriston Hella... Moshi Moshi. Mr. Takahashi. Hi. You can't ban that card? What? Jet Synchron? Nobody wants Jet Synchron banned. Alright. Bye. Jet Synchron is a card that should be banned, mostly for it being an extender. Can also bring about Mecha Phantom Beast combos. Yeah. So that's why it should be banned. That's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you disagree with some of the cards on this list, let me know. I do think it's going to be a smaller list if we even have a list. It's very well could be no list. But if we did have a list, I think it would look something similar to this, or at least hopeful. Some things could be changed. Necros, Unicorn, and all that stuff. Who knows? Kriston Halifabrax. But let me know what you guys think. If you agree, disagree. I know there's a lot of digression or, fights going on in the community about what should be or should not be banned. I know my reasons aren't completely 100% on par. I know it probably sounds better coming from a more professional player, so feel free to comment below if you have any ways to fix the meta. Of course, I want to bring and promote constructive criticism, and I certainly think by reading other people's lists and their reasonings, my reasonings can be swayed. So feel free to comment below. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed my editing or any of my future videos, as well as my Twitch, my YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Discord if you want to apply for tournaments or giveaways. So I very much appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a nice day.